What do you get when you combine a world-class EMS physician and medical director
I speak pretty good English for a guy from Detroit.
with an EMS veteran and all-around nice guy?
Well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, my God.
Well, you get the EMS show. Taking it to the people, here's your host, Dr. Ritu Sani and Mike Vercast.
Well, happy EMS week, everybody.
Happy EMS week.
Welcome to the EMS show. We've already got people waiting in the wings, so we got to just jump right in. Normally, there's a lot of bullshitting and hanging, doing things, but there's no time. And I've been thinking about this all day. One of my favorite episodes of The Office is when Dwight no one takes the fire alarm, the drill seriously, so he sets the fire. Right. And Michael comes out and he's all panicking. It's happening. Well, we sent out 15 invites or so for people to just come on and pop on, thinking as usual, we'll get one or two. Well, yeah. Pretty much everybody said yes. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do this. We already got one and I'm seeing them in the green room now. So we should probably just jump on, but let's set it up a little bit. For those of you watching, thanks for tuning in. If you're listening, you're not getting, there's another one. Now we got two in the wings. It's even better because they're both here together and it's a together thing. But we're calling this EMS Week All-Stars, even though you people that are out there running the calls, doing the work, you're the real all-stars. But what we wanted to do was just invite everybody that's been on our show so far and see if they would come on. They pretty much all said yes. I had one cancel a minute ago. But we're just going to just talk to people, let them pop in, say happy EMS week, find out what's going on with them. And then let's just do it. Are you ready for our first guests?
I am ready. I can't see who's in the green room.
Oh, you can't. So it'll be a surprise.
So I can guess who one person is because they sent a chat.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But,
well, that's fair enough.
I can't see who's all in the green room. So it's all very exciting.
Okay. Well, let's welcome our first guest, the boys from EMS 2020. What is up, Spence and Chris?
Yo, how are you guys?
What's up? Happy EMS week.
You guys.
Oh, happy EMS week to you too. I'm doing great. I'm gonna say the most EMS introduction ever, and that is, hey guys, got a lot of late calls last night. I didn't get a lot of sleep. There you go. Yeah, it was really cool. So it's a cool reason to not get a lot of sleep though. So I've been working at a local flight program now for a while. I love it there. Yeah. And we recently started a partnership with the United States Coast Guard.
Oh,
and so, wow. Yeah, it's cool because my base is here and their base is right there. We wave to each other. And recently I got the opportunity. So in the past, they had been like, hey, we've got a medical out at sea. Can you guys spare a nurse or spare a medic? And, one time we sent a nurse out and it was great, but the nurse came back being like, I need my medic out there. Like, it's rough, And then we started a program and I got to be involved and start doing these kind of cross training things. And we did these cross training things. And then I ran a lot of calls and I screwed myself because I said, hey, hopefully I don't run any calls tonight, so I'm fresh for the cross training tomorrow. And we just got killed the whole night. Of course,
yeah.
And we went straight into training.
Typical EMS fashion.
Yeah. We went straight into training and then we stopped training.
Broke the cardinal rule of scheduling something after the shift.
I know.
Can't do that. Yep.
I know.
That's rookie shit.
I know exactly.
You know better, Chris.
I do. I've been in it too long to do rookie shit like that. So yeah. So anyway, that's my long-winded story about why weird stuff's gonna come out of my mouth.
The nice part of all of that is that every EMS break room in a hospital, you'll never have it better.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got killed last night, but I bet you ate like a king.
Yeah, exactly. They're all freshly stocked.
That's right. They all have the best in their their Uncrustables. We have the Uncrustables Plus.
Oh yeah. So, my favorite ever was we landed in a manual.
We had another little special guest jump in real quick. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
Doing well.
Well, as one of my friends like to say, this is a very visual podcast. So that who is that just said hello?
Mike Levy.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Too. I'm missing you. I keep getting this. I think I shared it with you, but Apple does this thing with your computer and just combs through old memories, and it seems to always land on a band of old codgers called the Who that I saw in Portland. That was fantastic.
That's exactly right. I keep looking at those pictures too, actually, that we went to see the Who together. So
we knocked that one out of the park. They were all standing up, and Keith Moon's son was there drumming the hell out of things. I got to tell you, that was a big day for me.
That was a
Where
great
did you guys
time.
go see the Who?
It was a while ago now.
Years ago, right?
They were in Portland. They were at Moda Center.
Yeah.
And Mike flew down from Anchorage. I don't even know how we started talking about it one day. And you're like, oh, I want to come see the Who. Like, come on down.
Boom.
And then you stayed at my house. We went and saw my daughter's choir concert for 15 minutes and realized there's no way we were going to watch it. And took off to go see the Who.
There was that.
It's just like, this is trash. Let's go find a real band.
Yeah.
Well, it's so good. It's so good. But so again, this is going to be super combobulated. So there was not a lot of planning going into this, but
unlike the other episodes of the
yeah, exactly. So we got the gist from Chris, right? Rookie shit, plan stuff after shift, whatever. But I have to talk to Spence and I wanted to just mention your amazing backdrop, like your set that you've got going there. So is that a U-Haul piece, or where did you come up with that, buddy?
Yeah, this is the red blanket. I think you can steal one from U-Haul. If not, there is a thrift store somewhere that you could probably purchase this from. This is superior to what is ever behind the garbage in my garage that I
love
have
it
to
so
deal
much.
with. Yeah.
I love it so much. So anything fun for you? Did you get any cold pizza this week? Burgers? Did you get, how was your EMS week?
My EMS week was great. We got to put out a really cool episode of our podcast with a toxicologist, and they educated us about I call it Wellbutrin, they call it Illbutrin, and they've got the graph to prove it. And then our work is, they're saying, we love you so much, please don't leave.
Yes,
we promise we'll treat you better. And
a sentiment heard around the world. I'm sure it's tough times out there.
And so I get a free work gift at some point. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
Okay,
time.
so you're gonna get the first EMS week trivia question, and then I've got one for Dr. Levy. All right, so Spence, this one's for you, and there's no Googling or cheating, okay, at all.
This doesn't feel like a gift.
We'll send you a sticker. We got stickers. Ritu has them all.
I do. They're sitting right.
Yeah, they're sitting in there. We'll whatever. Okay, so what week was EMS week original? I'm sorry. What month was EMS week originally in?
And you can phone a friend if you want.
No, there's no phoning a friend.
Chris
on the spot.
I'm just saying, like Chris is on the and Mike. I mean, we have a couple people here.
I think I know. Was it
Okay.
November?
You're cheating. Are you cheating?
No, it's not, because I have a T-shirt from my last work from God knows how long ago, and it says EMS week, and it has the date, and it says November on it. That's how I know that.
It was November.
I was going to say November. So
Oh, man.
I'm glad to know I would have been right.
This is how our podcast works. Spencer's in the hot seat. He's really sweating the real bullets, and I just come in and swoop in the glory and get my fucking stickers, and I'm set.
All right. Okay, so fair enough. So here's one for Dr. Levy, because he's been around a while. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, but okay, go.
So let me ask you this. When did they switch it to May? What year did they switch it to May?
Well, first of all, and I mean this sincerely, I really can't respond to these things without the song from the 60s. Do, 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 do,
Oh, you
do,
want the
do,
Jeopardy
do.
song?
Well, one of them. I
Yeah.
want something that kind of tease me up for telling you I don't know.
I mean,
I would like to have I would really like to have that background going on.
I wish I was faster on getting the theme music, but
I think it's because I don't got it. I think it was a religious thing with the pilgrims regarding conflicting with November. There just wasn't enough days in the month to move enough turkey or something, and that
2 weeks.
wasn't that it.
No, I think you're on the right path of why they switched it, right? But
Kept my tongue.
when so you don't know when they switched it, what year?
Unless it was last week, I've probably already forgotten it. So no, I don't think so.
Last week. Let's see if anyone in the chat's we got Kyle Rice. By the way, have you been seeing the press that Mr. Kyle Rice is getting on Fox? It's going to be on TMZ next, but he's been on like the New Yorker and he's been on all these things. So Kyle's a paramedic, right? I don't know if you guys have seen the story, but he did a TikTok. He works for a software company now. And he did a little TikTok. And by the way, it was 1992. I got messed up here. 1992. And he commutes 4 states.
That's right.
For his work. 4 states, but it's in the Northeast, so it takes like 20 minutes, right? It's not that long. It's not that long.
We call those counties in the West.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so he just did it. It's not 20 minutes. It's an hour and a half or a couple hours.
Right? Is that?
Yeah. But anyway, he did a TikTok that says, "Hey, come with me on my commute to work, right? To New York," because he literally works in Manhattan. And I'm not doing any justice. So I should just send him to damn link and let him tell the story because it's really amazing. And it's kind of a cool EMS Week thing. But it got picked up all of a sudden by all these outlets. And man, they are interviewing him and they're playing his thing. And they're talking about how it's, that he's sort of doing this to kind of, to be able to provide to his family as a paramedic. And so he does this commute on the train and does all this stuff. Anyway, it's really cool. If you just Google Kyle Rice, you will see all these stories, and it's kind of a cool thing. Yes, exactly. Right here. And pushing boundaries of EMS providers working outside of EMS, which is a whole topic that I'm starting to get a little bit excited about because, I'm one of those. Kyle's one of those. I talked to a lady at WAVE at our conference, and she just does these. There's just a lot of people doing non-traditional paramedic stuff, and it's just really awesome. And I love that.
Well, I think, when it comes to trying to move healthcare out there and into the world, I think it's only natural that we start seeing paramedics expand onto that. Because before us, it was nurses, right? Nurses have expanded into all kinds of different professions and have helped a ton in doing stuff. But, you've got us, and we have been centered around and geared towards working independently of oversight for a while. And so I think this is a natural progression and actually kind of a testament to, it's going to sound really braggy, but to how good we've become. It's as I know, I think both Mike and Dr. Sani, you guys know my father was a paramedic for a long time, since the olden days,
Yeah, like the 1990s, right?
No, he was 1979 or 1980, somewhere where I think it was. They were really sure, like, should we call it paramedic? I don't know, but it's a long time ago, and just to kind of hear, he recently passed away, but just to grow up, kind of hearing his stories of where it was and what it came to.
We'll freeze there.
Is it him? Is it him? Because sometimes it's
him. It was him.
Sometimes it's me.
It's me. No, the connection.
Actually,
it's me.
Yeah.
I love to hear this. We've had people tell us that paramedicine is a gateway drug to becoming a PA or something else because there's no headroom. Really, you do what you do, and then you try to maintain your cervical alignment and your lumbar alignment for the next 20 years and see if it works.
Yeah.
And where does it go? But the idea that not only does it go into MIHE kind of things, but it becomes a stepping stone to tech and other things. That's pretty positive. Love to hear it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think it's different when you're. Well, I think you hit it, Mike. It's one thing to be a paramedic and then use that to go on to med school or go on, but to have other jobs that paramedics can do, and by their knowledge of pre-hospital care and systems and things like that, that they bring the paramedic skill and mentality to the to whatever other profession they're doing. I think really brings a lot. But we have a bunch more people that showed up.
Go ahead, Ritu. Introduce them.
Who? Well, I'll go. I'm looking at my screen. I'll go left lower corner to the honorable representative. Also, one of my paramedics. So I don't know. Sometimes I have to be nice to her because she's a member of the Oregon legislature, and sometimes I'm like, "What were you thinking?"
Wait, is that on legislation or on a call?
Yeah, both. Actually,
it could be both. Probably both.
So, Dacia Graber, who is a paramedic with Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue, and a member of the Oregon House of Representatives, and actually EMS champion for the Oregon House of Representatives, actually, and has really, gosh, and especially done a lot for the profession. She's done a lot for the system, but she's also done a lot for firefighters and EMS professionals legislatively, and it's been and we have to have a whole hour episode with you to just talk about, because advocacy is one of the things that we talk about a lot on this show. And one of the things I always end my talks with is run for office. And I actually put a picture of you up.
Is it a good picture?
It's a picture from your website.
Okay,
so
all right.
I had a feeling that you approved it, and a picture of you and a picture of Sue Prentice. You know Sue from.
Oh yeah, Sue's amazing.
Yeah, so Sue and I have done a lot of work together too. So, but yeah, welcome, happy EMS Week to you, Dacia.
Happy EMS Week to everyone on here. This is awesome. Yeah, Barrett said, "Hey, do you want to pop in for 5 minutes and say something witty?" And I said, "I'm going on a podcast with Dr. Sani with Ritu. I can't out-witty him." And I thought you were teeing it up for me because you were talking about transferable skills and how being decisive and understanding research and science and looking at a larger data set to make your decisions, even when you don't like them, Ritu.
I was teeing it up for you. That's great.
Yeah, it's great. And that's really kind of what it comes down to. And I think that medics, people in EMS professions make outstanding legislators. We are sometimes, and I'm throwing just a little bit of shade here, we are sometimes overshadowed by our physician counterparts. But, we're a voice that is missing.
Somebody's.
Yeah, Chris is having issues there.
Somebody sounds like they're playing a very bad guitar.
Yeah. No, so it's we've done a lot of work to come in and be able to champion sort of what I've been seeing in the field for 2+ decades, and then stand up for folks that are actually doing the work. Because I'll tell you what, there's a lot that happens in politics where people are talking about the great mystery of fire and EMS and what it is and what we do, and very few people that actually understand it. So yeah, I don't want to, you've got lots of folks here, so I don't want to,
It's great. And we have if people need to hop off, people are going to come and go. So feel free. I mean, but feel free to hang out too. But I want to acknowledge a couple other guests too. Rob Lawrence, good day, sir.
Hello, my boy. How are we?
We are good. It's Monaco weekend.
It is Monaco weekend, and I don't know whether Bill Toon is watching, but we agreed that we would talk Formula One for a few minutes just to annoy him. So I'm not sure if he's here, but
I haven't seen him creeping in.
Oh, well, we'll save that conversation till he arrives then, if you're there, Bill.
And then, of course, our old friend, NAEMSP President, Jose Cabanas. Hello, sir.
What is happening? Happy EMS Week to
EMS Week.
All of you. Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be back. It's a great folks here. It's really kind of great to hang out with all of you here. this evening. It's fantastic.
It's so good.
Can we just plug something that Jose did earlier on this afternoon? We
Yes.
had, and I was working the behind the scenes shift on this one, but we had the NAEMSP town hall earlier on today,
Right.
and very well attended, fantastic topic, amazing speakers, and so kudos, Jose. It was a fantastic session.
No, thank you. And I mean, our panelists and our partnership with Prodigy EMS was fantastic. I think at some point we had like 700 folks registered, like almost 500 were online live. It was very well
like the
attended.
EMS
It's fantastic. Yeah.
7 or
Just
11.
like the EMS show, absolutely.
Yeah. What was the topic? I thought that was an interesting. I unfortunately I'm gonna watch it. I wasn't able to watch it live, but I think I can watch it eventually, right?
Yeah, it will be available obviously through the party website, and it will be available for anybody who wants to watch it and get tea out of it too. So it was about disparities in out of hospital cardiac arrest, and we actually did a great panel where we highlight some sort of community driven programs that help us sort of frame the different ways you can approach this in your community. So it was a very fantastic topic. We had a piece on athletes as well. We have a piece on sort of what Pittsburgh's doing in the community, what Washington D.C. is doing in their system. So it was a great sort of conversation and great questions. So if you get a chance, just take a look at it. I think you're gonna like it.
Well, I mean, I think the topic of disparities and equity is really very timely right now, and again, I'll look at Dacia because I think this is a question I think that we have legislatively at a local level. I know it's a topic that we bring up when we do our Hill visits next week, right?
It's coming up first week of June, so I'm counting on you, Reed, too, there, because you and I always go for a big walk and take a picture in the monuments, right? Every year.
I'll be there. We will take our annual picture at the Lincoln Memorial.
So it'll be fantastic. And I was actually this past few days in DC advocating for getting a resolution to the DEA rules and regs for that bill, Reed, too, that you were involved in 2017. It's been 7 years, but we're still at it.
And that's the one piece of legislation I got passed ever before Dacia helped me get another one. Helped get another one that I was involved in. So, I helped her because she did all the work. Actually, Barrett did all the work.
Yeah, he's my secret weapon. My chief
He's
of staff.
amazing.
He is amazing, and not a drop of EMS background. That was some of the magic of that, was to really kind of have him approach it through his eyes. He's very much a systems thinker, and he doesn't have the biases that you or I might have going into it.
Yeah. Well, it's good too, because like we think it makes sense, but we have all this background that we don't remember that other people don't have. So yeah, that's exactly right. All right. Sounds like is Miranda around or?
I think she was, but then she wasn't, but I think she was audio only. But now she's not. But we had our good friend Miranda Franco from what firm is she from?
Holland and Knight.
Holland and Knight.
Oh, is Miranda here?
Yeah,
wow. Miranda was
we've
trying
been to get her in, but
but we did a whole advocacy episode with her just about a month ago. Miranda is part of our advocacy team, that NAEMSP, our Washington D.C. advocacy team. And actually, what's interesting too is, again, we're talking. You get me started on advocacy, I'll just keep going. You know that.
Watch yourself.
But NAEMSP started a state advocacy tool also. So state chapters of NAEMSP can get together, decide that they want to support something, and then use the tool to alert other state members to then interact with their own state representatives, whether you're in Oregon, we have a House and a Senate, like but other places that have a different setup. But we just started that so that, because all advocacy starts really locally, right? Mayor, city council, those probably have a bigger impact on how EMS works than some of the stuff we try to get done in DC.
So you've just given me an idea here, because as many of you know, I'm the chair of the AAA State Association Forum, where we have now corralled and collected all of the state associations. We have AAA working very closely with an NAEMSP at the top. We need to do that on a state level, all the way through and all the way down. And so I've just handed that to my to-do list.
Well, and it's all about relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the past president of the AAA has been a guest on our show, Sean Baird, who also, I was his medical director. He was Chris's boss. No, he never was Chris's boss.
Not quite, but yeah.
Because he took over at Metro West after you left.
Yes, that's correct.
I was Chris's medical director for a little while too. So
yeah. So Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've run calls with Dacia, so
yeah. So I think you're absolutely right, Rob. Getting one of the things when we started advocacy at NAEMSP was not only to have a seat at the table in DC, and that vision goes all the way back to Rick Hunt when he was president of NAEMSP. But what really I think was at least my goal when I started working on advocacy issues was to train people. If you came to our Government Relations Academy and spent some time with Jose and Mike Levy, Mike's frozen now too.
Oh yeah,
he's unfrozen. Brent Myers. I mean, all the presidents of NAEMSP, and then connecting with the members of Congress, you saw that it's not. These are people, and they really want to hear your story, and especially with doing EMS, which is a really honorable profession, I think. They want to hear your stories, and not just be able to feel comfortable doing that in DC, but to take that skill home then. And I know that for me, when I started doing that 15 years ago or whatever, that's when I was like, the medical director needs to go to city council and teach city council how to do CPR.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I know, Mike, you've done that in your community too, right?
Yep.
It's the old Alaskan Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I think the electrons are having a hard time getting here from Alaska. Oh, there you go.
We're frozen.
Yeah, it's cold here and electrons freeze. Everybody knows that.
Yeah,
right.
Makes
the
sense.
science checks out. That's
the science checks out. Confirmed.
Well, it's, one thing kind of along those lines, as we are celebrating the, amazing work that people do in EMS week. And it's, obviously it's 24/7, it's 365, all these things. And, everyone has worked so hard to get sort of our place at the table, things like that. And so I know, Rob, you've been super busy doing a lot of stuff, but one of the posts that you shared probably a week ago-ish was that you were invited to the Georgetown University Public Policy Review in Washington, D.C. to talk about the relationship between EMS and public health in the U.S. And I think that is super fascinating. Can you give us sort of the highlights on that? There is a podcast we can plug, but
absolutely. So our good friend Kate Elkins at NHTSA called me up and said, "You have a funny accent. Can you talk to them?" And of course, I'd be delighted to. No, and
I'm from out of town.
For all of my time here, have been the proponent of EMS and public health. The fact that they are the Marine Corps of the we're the Marine Corps of the Public Health Navy. We work hand in hand together, and so an opportunity. And of course, when I go out on the lecture circuit, one of the questions I ask is hands up if you don't know the name of your public health director. And I'm always shocked when people put their hands up and say, "I have no idea who this person is." And so that's the kind of the backstory. And so I went to talk about, the fact is that, as we all know, and folk that are listening, we have the data. We can therefore use that, and data is just one thing, but of course it's what you do with it, and it's turning it into intelligence, and then turn that intelligence into action. And so it's a circle and a cycle. And so I was talking about the fact, and also the backstory that certainly when I was the COO in Richmond for 10 years, every summer I would have a public health intern, someone going through their masters in public health, their MPH, and say, here we go, sign these forms, you're now in the HIPAA club, have at it, because we have so much information. We therefore can create some hypothesis, we can look at the data, and we can come up with some suggestions and some solutions. And so that was the kind of thrust. The other half of the discussion, and I hope people do listen to it, is really talking about, hospital and ambulance deserts. And the fact that it's not as much as just an ambulance service closing out there. It's when a hospital closes, therefore the loop time, the transport times increase, therefore availability decreases, and the problems that we have with that. And so it was kind of a smorgasbord of how we interact with each other. But they were very receptive to my suggestions and my ideas, and I commend everybody who listens to it. And there's something for everybody in there. But I really wanted to ram the point home is that we have the information, we are seeing everything, and we're often accused of not being able to tell our story. Well, we have a lot of public health folk that can actually join in to identify the issues with us, and therefore identify the solutions with us. And that was pretty much where we went. Mike,
fascinating stuff. That is so good. Thanks for being the advocate. Thanks for being on the road so much, and thanks for all the stuff that you go do. And we just lost Ben Abo, probably a banana in his tailpipe or something.
There he is. Before I get off the travel thing,
you heard that.
Let me just say one thing about
the 412 there, Ben.
Yeah. There he is.
Yeah, Yinzer Medic Pride.
Go ahead, Rob.
No, I was going to say before we get off the travel task, and yes, I have been traveling.
I wore that shirt earlier today.
Sorry, I had the really good fortune to be in DC last week for Police Week, and I went courtesy of my significant other, and you can come along and be the cameraman, great. But what I realized was I went to the police memorial in DC, which is just sort of a little bit away from the Capitol. Yeah. And firstly, they have 28,000 names on the police memorial. It is eye-watering, humbling. But what it made me realize is that they do Police Week really, really well. They do Police Week in the National Capital really, really well. And it makes me double down on the fact that we do need an EMS memorial in the National Capital. And so therefore that really energized me into that initiative, because just to see, it was all awesome to see the amount of police officers from around the country that turn up, the honor guards, the sentinels and the vigils, and the really impressive bit was the honor guard competition. The judges for that are actually the sentinels that guard the tomb at Arlington. And so they come over and they are actually the judges, which I thought was really cool as well. So, but the point being is that made me realize that we need to continue to focus and support a national EMS memorial. Anyway, I can see my mate Ben's here, so I'm going to shut up now.
Oh,
it's
keeps
wonderful.
growing. It keeps growing.
Yeah,
I know it is. We are growing and growing. So Ben was talking about something about a shirt, and then he went crazy, and then he dropped off. So what the hell are you talking about?
Yinzer Medic Pride 412 represent.
Oh, I got you. What's new in Florida, bro? What's going on?
How many people on this call right now have a connection to Pittsburgh?
I think it's three of us.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, really, it's all of us because of Freedom House, but
right,
that's true.
True.
But Pitt, yes, the three of us. Okay, just curious. Hi, Frank. Welcome.
I want you to know I wore this shirt just for Ben Abo. It says "How you liking me now," and it's got a picture of a bunch of lichens on
it. I love it. I love it. If you don't like it, it'll grow on you.
Exactly.
So Ben Abo's jumped on, and Frank Guyette has jumped on from Pittsburgh. So
thank you guys. Happy EMS week.
Happy EMS.
Happy EMS week.
I apologize that I was a little late to the party.
Oh, there's no times. See, that's the thing.
People are dropping in and out. People
I'm always wondering what Ben was doing that he got here late.
Wrangling snakes and all that.
Like Dr. Levy just had to step out.
Jump off.
So yeah. So what's going on with our friendly neighborhood toxinologist? Any do you have a TV show to plug, or Anything like that?
What's going on?
Other than Shark Week is about to come out, and when Sharks Attack 360 on Nat Geo Wild new season, that's coming out. Nothing else
And you
really
serve as the
plug.
medical support for Shark Week, and
yeah.
So we talk
Nat
about
Geo
EMS
Wild.
people doing other stuff. There you go.
The growth, but I and actually, so it's not specific to plug yet, but I am working on basically a TV show based on picture like Anthony Bourdain, well, Live and Happy, but I'd go around the world checking out different specialties.
Too soon, bro.
Sorry.
Golly. I mean, it's been a couple years, but still.
Dark. I know. Oh, what a loss. Actually, serious loss. But kind of that premise for a show, but going and visiting EMS services and emergency departments around the world and train with my ideas that I'll train with them. If they jump out of a helicopter, I'll jump out of a helicopter. We all know I do it. Wrestling with gators or snakes, whatever. But then, and if they get real calls, I'll go on them with them. And then after the shift, kind of get an idea of the culture, their EMS culture, their national culture, their city culture. That's what I'm about to film the sizzle reel for. Yeah.
This sounds like Ben Grills.
Yeah.
Ben Grills.
So I expect everyone on here to hook me up with their EMS services, obviously, so I can highlight everybody and all their awesome work.
Well, you are welcome to come to the Pacific Northwest and see what it's like to do EMS in the rain.
Although yeah, I mean, happy to come to Raleigh. We don't have sharks here, but we can figure something out.
Yeah, sounds good.
I have to tell you, by the way, the best escalator episode I've done in the 7 seasons we've done it is with Ben on the escalator. We get going, and I say to him, "What's the worst kind of snake?" And he says to me, "It's the one that bites you." End. Fade to black.
It's true. Yeah. And you never know, after you talk to me about something, you never know what's going to happen. I was just in South Carolina lecturing for Prisma Health with Dan Schwerin, and Mayor Montes was there also. So in the keynotes. And within 2 hours of lecturing on water-related trauma and jet ski accidents, the perennial blowout and what I call the Abo power douche injury, that's a whole other thing. But right there in western South Carolina, within 2 hours, they had 2 jet skis collide, had to fly 2 patients to the trauma center. So you never know what you're going to get anywhere. Because I was talking about, like, I was used to jet skis on the, like in Miami Beach, but they're in western South Carolina, had the jet ski. So you never know. We might get a shark. Don't you have an aquarium or something around there? They might get bit.
We have an aquarium in Newport.
Yeah.
But I don't know
we
if
have an
there's
ocean
sharks there.
too.
Yeah, we do have there is an ocean
Yeah.
in Oregon.
There's
Yeah.
a
In
It's
Connecticut,
seasonal.
in Connecticut, I treated a Pacific great octopus bite.
Wow.
I didn't know they bit. I mean, I know they had
They got beaks.
Yeah, they got a beak and it'll bite, and actually 100% of octopi are venomous. It just, most of them aren't very toxic.
Yeah, no, that beak, that's actually why they call him the 8-armed bird of the sea. Haven't you ever heard that before?
Yeah,
Did you
if,
cook-
if
did you
anything
cook-
in the Allegheny River bites you, it's bad.
Oh, yes, it would be.
And it's probably not organic.
Somebody's echoing.
It's almost like it's everybody's echoing.
It didn't echo
I think
until
someone
our
probably has
tactical
beak.
statistician got on.
You're right.
You know what? Until Jarvis showed up, it wasn't echoing. Now it's not echoing.
No, it's not.
That's the problem. I hit mute and it echoes. I see what y'all are doing to me.
Yeah. So hold on. So Ben, did you actually cook the octopus that bit whoever bit, or what was the meal that night?
Yeah.
I love pulpo. Grilled, mwah, magnifique.
We gotta make sure we get around the horn. There goes Jarvis. I was going to introduce Jarvis, but whatever.
We lost Jarvis, but let's talk to Frank.
Frank's been
Frank
here.
Guyette, Dr. Frank Guyette from Pittsburgh.
Welcome
What's
back.
going on, medical director of stat, medevac, and researcher extraordinaire?
Not much. We've got some more cool studies coming down the pike, and we're super grateful. We've got Tower rolling on, which is about halfway enrolled, so about 550 patients out of 1,000 for pre-hospital whole blood. We have Pain, which is comparing fentanyl to ketamine. We've enrolled 12 patients, only 980 to go.
Can anybody get the ketamine?
It makes me want to go put on my ketamine
because
shirt.
we get it from a compounder, so it's coming out of a 55-gallon drum. It's not coming in a vial from not coming from a vial from McKesson.
It needs to come in kegs.
And
are you getting it compounded from Faragon?
No, we're getting it compounded from a company called Pine Pharmaceuticals. They're a compounder in Towanda, New York, and they're just amazing. They've been super helpful to us.
Great to hear. I didn't mean to
and then
interrupt you.
Pact is
because I've been getting it compounded from Fargon, Fargon.
Is that a joke of some kind?
I know. Ben said it, so it's got to be a joke.
I know. I don't never know with them. Like, is he serious?
Ben, is that
with me?
I'm actually thinking some kind of weird Lord of the Rings reference, like Fargon. What is that past? Like Mordor? Like, what is that? Exactly.
That's why I love the company name. I'm just like, are you serious? Like what?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
as in your career is far gone if you get it from them.
Yeah. Yins
the show is not sponsored by Fargon.
We couldn't get any ketamine. We gone far to look for it. How far? Far gone.
Yeah, far gone. Well, I have to admit, Towanda, New York is pretty far gone.
Yeah.
I've given some patients some ketamine, and they've been pretty far gone after
Towanda,
that.
New York forever, right? Or is that Wakanda?
How many?
Something like that.
How many far gone puns are there going to be?
We're up to 6 so far. Yes, we've been counting.
So, Frank, you were mentioning Pact. How's Pact going?
Oh yeah, God, tell me. I need an update.
So Pact we've enrolled now 1,480 out of 2,009. So we've got about a year left. Thanks to our friends in Oregon for enrolling a bunch of patients for us. Greatly appreciated. And
sometimes we even
places,
follow the protocol. Sometimes, not often.
Sometimes you're getting better.
I mean, the
two of your patients are
right. I mean, it's either an eye gel or you're going to intubate. Like, how are they screwing it up? I'm sorry. I'm just.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Because they're intubating everybody, Mike.
Well, you know what's crazy is that we have services. We have services where like. Nashville, where that many of the medics choose to go SGA first. We, certainly in city of Chicago and city of New Orleans, I'd say it's probably 50-50, and to some degree is situationally dependent. And then we have services like my own, where it's anathema. It's literally the worst thing you could do is to ask them to not intubate a patient. So as far as I'm concerned, that's equipoise, right? Like we don't know what the right answer is, and the right answer may be different depending on where you are and your level of experience and everything else. So hopefully we'll be able to get to the root of those questions.
Yeah, I'm curious. I know Dr. Jarvis pays attention to airway stuff. And
a little bit, not a little bit, not much.
Yeah, he's still riding that DSI train, baby. What's it been? 11 years on that sucker?
Maybe. I've updated the lecture once or twice.
I mean, I'm just teasing because I love you, but
40 minutes before the lecture.
That's pretty generous. I mean, if you ask me, but
in all honesty, that's all of us.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, 100%. But anyway, thanks for that update on those studies. That's really cool. So speaking of that, this will be a nice segue into getting Jarvis into the convo. But we've just spent the last 3 days at ESO hosting the Pre-Hospital Care Research Forum, which we do twice a year, and had about 25 learners, students or whatever you want to call them, coming in from all over the U.S. Nice mix of EMTs, paramedics, first-year medical students, residents, medical directors from all over the country. Come on down to Austin, spend 3 days with a bunch of amazing mentors and statisticians, and they come up with this. They sort of funnel their topics or what they want to research down a little bit, but really it's once they get there, they're picking what they want to do some research on, and they go at it and knock out in 2.5 days. They basically come up with a presentation that we got to sit through today about what their topic was. And obviously like the high level stuff we can talk about, but there's a lot of work to do. But it is one of those things that just absolutely fills my cup to see people that don't know each other, that have completely different points of view, that have different life experiences coming together, choosing a topic to better our industry, to improve patient outcomes, to get involved and do some work to really make a difference out there. And getting to sit through some of the stuff that they were talking about was really just amazing. So, but the point of that story is not only is it cool, but I got to hang out with Jarvis for just a little bit today.
At least 2-3 hours.
And yesterday. Yeah. So hi, buddy. Thanks for jumping on.
Absolutely. After like 8-9 hours of meetings today, which I was not in Austin for, damn it, I had to leave for 8 or 9 meetings. Talking to my friends here, great high point of the day. So thank you for having me on.
Oh, well, of course. Long-time listener, long-time fan.
Hey, I get to join your show, and I'm not on an airplane, so this is good.
I know. It worked out good. Did somebody invite Jay-Z?
Maybe. Maybe.
Oh, wow.
I'm in the witness protection program.
Jay-Z, welcome to the EMS show, buddy. I think this might be your first time on here. Yeah.
I am
Zalkin.
honored.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Zalkin.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You're retired. No, retired Joseph Zalkin, but looking at my June schedule, I'm walking the halls of Congress that first week of January, and then I go down to listen to what's happening with the Eagles crowd the next week. And then I end up in Texas. And I don't know if you know, but Texas is a delegated practice state.
Oh, I've heard that.
I did not know that.
So San Antonio,
Well, I have not been doing my job.
Well, it's hard for me to tag by audio only, so I'll get that out. But I've been revitalized learning about blood in the field in EMS, and honestly, it's not heads up CPR, but honestly, I think it's going to be like CPAP. Former
I'm sorry, I stopped listening.
I think it's going to be like CPAP. I think you're going to see the same patients that 100 years ago. We started talking about the old school, and I got a little cringy and put easy in the chat. I think you're going to see, as it rolls out, and there are some issues logistically and otherwise, but as it rolls out, for trauma patients and other medical patients with off vital signs who've lost blood, basically, our approach to this has been stupid. We just dilute their blood supply.
Yeah,
right?
It's fine. We've always done it. It's
well,
fine.
So I got to chime into this just a little bit. To what Jay-Z is saying. Me, sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want there's so many people. I got to figure out who's talking.
Oh, no worries.
Bunch.
Now, Jay-Z, obviously I know exactly which Jay-Z this is, and we all have to agree that transporting blood does have 99 problems, but refrigeration is not necessarily one of them. You can get past it. But no, with that, thank you. I worked at an agency, ground agency, and like many ground agencies, we pretty much carry crystalloids. I did that for about 15 years, and we gave crystalloids like it was going out of style because while we understood the risk associated with crystalloid administration, especially in high volumes, it was less than the risk of a blood pressure of 0/0. And so it was kind of, we were replacing one catastrophic problem with another catastrophic problem down the line. Then I went to an agency, and a lot of times we just didn't get people back. You ran fluid in, that was like, well, they're not coming back. It's a trauma code, we're done. But then I went to an agency that it's a flight agency. We have a blood program and a station, so we're a little bit better able to manage carrying blood products. We carry PRBCs. And we started that. And I remember the first call I landed where I had to give PRBCs, and I'm thinking, I've got 350 mLs of PRBCs. I mean, we're going to do it because that's what the protocol is, but this guy's not coming back. And then all of a sudden you're like, there's a blood pressure. The pulse is coming down. This guy's viable. And it's just I feel the same way as JG does. The blood is just, it's a game changer. From my incredibly intensive study of my own personal experience, I believe that I believe you're right. If the more we can get blood out there infusing in the field quicker, I think we're going to have much better patient outcomes.
See, I don't know. I completely disagree with you. I think there are still a couple of what you're losing products that we haven't tried yet. So we got to prove those don't work before we put back in what's coming out.
Gotcha. So what kind of products are you? Yeah.
I think.
Well, the most important letters in life are A, B, and O, right? So
bleach. Is that what you say?
Yeah, the president suggested that.
Although I have a little experience with this. So, but I would say that probably the real game changer is going to be freeze dried plasma with a 2-year shelf life, easy administration. The cost is probably going to be expensive, somewhere on the order of a dose of Kcentra, so like $1,200 to $1,500. But comparatively, that is affordable in the big picture. All the logistical problems with blood and the issues with blood supply are going to cause limitations and cause inequities. And hopefully FDP will relieve some of those, particularly if we're smart about how we deploy it. If we deploy it in a regionalized fashion, Jose, your teams do that now, right? And not freeze dried, but you guys do blood. Are you guys doing blood yet? I thought you were.
No, we're not doing blood in our system. No.
All right.
Now we have systems in North Carolina and in the state that are doing blood.
Right?
Yeah.
And they do them like as a countywide resource, right? For the most part, and that was my impression.
Yeah.
Because
the
and that's
EMS
really
system
smart.
here, EMS system is a countywide sort of function, right? So it's a natural sort of fit to it. JC actually has visited all those programs. I don't know if he wants to comment on that, but
yeah, I was just going to say I head up the North Carolina Pre-Hospital Regional Blood Coalition, and what's surprising, and it's not unique to North Carolina, but there was the problem: rural communities, distance to a trauma center. One trauma center in particular reached out to 11 of 5 or so of their feeder agencies. We have about 13 systems in North Carolina with blood in the street. But in this particular area where they're exchanging blood on arrival, and they are, very interesting, currying blood twice a week into the community to exchange it. Blood is fresh. Those communities have 20, 40 plus minute transport times. And so when you look at sort of phase by phase of who would benefit most, I think we'd all agree if you're of distance, sooner is better. And a lot of the studies coming out are saying morbidity, mortality, the sooner, the better, with the right patient size up. A lot of folks are at the, no pun intended, but pun intended, bleeding edge of this project, right? So you're just learning as things change. It's ancillary. It's an addition to a pit crew model for a trauma patient where someone handles the blood. There are huge logistical issues about getting it out in a timely manner, and do you rendezvous, and how do you exchange? But it's also opened up when I'm old enough to remember no coronary care units, the beginning of critical care. Having a new tribe to talk to, the blood bank managers, for example, that's a new crowd, and they follow rules where EMS is kind of on the, well, rules are optional, aren't they?
They're in the beg for forgiveness mode.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, there's ways around that. And let me be the retired chief here and say, who the hell's paying for all this?
Well,
just saying.
No, that you bring up a really good point, and it's a boring passion of mine, but it is a bit of a passion of mine, is to try and look at so just for anyone that's not familiar with me, and I don't blame you if you're not, I'm not that special, but I have a podcast that's been doing pretty well. And what we do is we take call submissions from all around the country, now all around the world, and we anonymize them and HIPAA proof them, and then we do reviews on them. And
the EMS 2020 podcast.
Yeah, EMS 2020 podcast, like kind of a play on the old 2020 show where they would so we thought we were super clever, but we and one of the trends that we notice is we can kind of start seeing where you have systems where we start to deal with, hey, the issue is we don't have enough paramedics, or we're seeing staffing issues. Is the EMS industry does have a cash flow problem at the moment. And you're seeing a lot of agencies are having to make cutbacks. You're seeing a lot of agencies that are very risk averse to doing new things. And my concern is that if we don't resolve our cash flow problem in the long run, likely through legislation of some kind, we're going to run into these risk averse agencies that don't want to carry blood because they're worried about, giving it wrong or wasting it, or they're worried about the expense, or when we start getting, for example, we're talking about intubation or earlier, and that's been a debate forever about whether or not we should be intubating. But what was the last thing I said? Sorry, I paused out there for a second.
No, it was just for a second. You're fine.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so like innovation, for example, we'll see some agencies that seem to have really good first pass success rates. They have possibly better patient outcomes than we see nationally. And then we have agencies that don't want to touch innovation because they're very risk averse. They don't want to get sued. They don't want to go that way. So I'll kind of stop my diatribe. But yeah, I absolutely feel that that financial strain. And I think one of the things we have to understand is that practicing good financial practices and fixing the cash flow problem is practicing good healthcare. They're one and the same.
Right, and this is where everyone coming up on the hill is going to help us. Obviously, I'm in California, or, we're in California. It's $220 Medi-Cal reimbursement to cover a $800 possibly, depending on who you listen to, process and procedure. And so legislating for reimbursement for this procedure is absolutely critical right now.
Well, let me tie those two things together, because as we are trying to get our whole blood program up and established in Fort Worth, there are some problems we're running into. The biggest of which, I have one blood bank who is perfectly willing to sell me all the whole blood I can buy.
Sell, Jeff?
Sell, correct.
Sell, okay.
Well, I mean, it's got to come from somewhere. I mean, it's not like it comes out of people. So it's not like they're donating it. So the challenge
at a market price point, Jeff, or something different.
So the challenge is not so much acquiring the blood. Let's just assume that we can pay for it. It's exchanging it. So that's the problem we're running into. And I haven't been particularly willing to waste blood. We see other agencies that clearly cash is not a problem for. They buy the blood and just throw it out. And the amount of money they're spending doesn't matter. They're just paying for it. Go for it. Throw it away. So it's interesting. For some people, you actually do have to figure out how you're going to pay for it. Other places just not only do they not care money, they're just throwing it away along with a pretty precious gift patients are giving to us or donors are giving.
Yeah, and Jeff, I think that's absolutely the most important thing too, right? Is that it is a very limited resource and a precious gift, and wasting it is really unconscionable. I think with good recycling practices, I mean, I know the Strat guys say, they're wasting less than 1%. Our waste is a little more than that. You were talking about couriers before. I'm couriering to bases that are in 5 states, and we waste probably about 10% of our blood. But we have a good recycling program. Most of the time we can get it back to the regional trauma centers, get it used same day, in which case we have an agreement with the blood banks and the hospitals to not charge us for blood that's returned. We do get charged when we waste a unit. We get charged when we take whole blood back and it's over the 14 days, because they have to downcycle it to a unit of PRBCs. So we lose about half the value when they downcycle it. But it's an expense no matter what. But again, I think, certainly lobbying to get paid for, I think that's the right thing to do, but I'm not super optimistic that that's going to change in the short term. I know there are different models out there. There are models of cost sharing with the hospitals. There are are models where they try to bill from the hospital. That's also challenging and requires some pretty thoughtful input from legal. But there are ways to do it, and I think much like everything else, we as a community have to be flexible and creative and try to do the right thing for patients. And with that, I have to go because it's bedtime out here on the East Coast for my kids. But it was great to see y'all.
Thanks so much for jumping on, spending a few minutes with us. Oh, somebody's getting yelled at or something. I'm not sure what's happening.
I don't know what that is, but Frank, love yins.
Good seeing you, Frank. Thanks so much, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Frank. But
Frank can just hop on out of here.
And we roll in with somebody that's mentored many of us, Frank and Ben and myself for sure, as repping the 412. Ron, I'm wearing my Jeep t-shirt.
Where'd you get that?
Which I was wearing earlier today.
I got it. The Pittsburgh Paramedic Union sells it.
Oh, maybe why I don't have one.
What's a union?
Right. Okay. So Dr. Ron Roth from Pittsburgh, now retired.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet? I thought I saw something, like some celebration or something.
Lies. It's all lies.
Lies.
He was honored, but isn't allowed to retire yet. When's the party? Did we figure that out?
Oh, go ahead.
I want to fly for the
don't
party.
go
Did
to
we figure
Ken.
out when this is?
No. I don't go to casual until July for I can be paid if I do something. But the Steelers are keeping me on, so technically I'm not retired.
Well, that's what I wanted to say, was that for those of you that may not remember that are listening or watching, Ron came on with Ritu and I, and we talked about sort of what's going on from the medical command sort of point of view at a professional NFL football game. And so we had a really fascinating, of course, this was all brought on by the on-field cardiac arrest. It was just a great episode. So anyway, go back and find that episode. But thanks for jumping on for a few minutes. Happy EMS Week.
Same to you.
Yeah.
We're hoping our union will sign their contract for EMS Week.
That's their EMS Week present.
Yes.
I'm wearing the t-shirt if that will help. So I guess so Ron, the Steelers are keeping you on. So anything new and exciting? I mean, I guess it's the off season now. Are you kind of deep into planning for next season at this point?
Yeah, so the NFL now has you have to have mandatory training twice, and that's reviewing the emergency action plans. So I've helped develop the emergency action plans, and the middle of next month we'll do some on-field training and our docs. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I was told, because I don't work in the ED anymore, I cannot be an AMP, airway management physician, or an ERP, emergency response physician. So I will be an oxygen technician. And my job will be to say, Mr. Watt, would you like some oxygen? And I can say, why, yes. I can say, here's 15 liters.
It's just enough for everybody. Yeah.
I have a question for you. Hi, my name is Chris Finks, and I'm a podcaster, and I've known Ritu and Mike for a long time. It's nice to meet you.
My deepest sympathies.
Right. I know, man. I'm starting a survivor group coming up. It's going to be great, I think. But I was curious, and if you can't say anything, I absolutely understand. But after the Damar Hamlin incident happened, where we think it was commotio cordis, but he essentially coded on the field, and a lot of the medical team and the EMS did the exact right thing and started CPR right away, and it looked pretty good from our perspective. on our YouTube channel, we kind of did a little coverage on it. It was kind of an interesting thing to do. I was just wondering if you had any little nuggets or insight on that, or any changes that's happened throughout the NFL as a result of that incident.
Yeah, so they always included cardiac arrest as one of the scenarios that we should look at. But up until Damar, the last one was decades ago. And the first intubation of a player was the previous year. And
Gotcha.
so really, it's just standing around waiting for something that probably is not going to happen. However, now it can happen. I think it's different at every stadium. We are so lucky that we have, it's our EMS agency. It's all emergency medicine physicians. And that's the way it is in Cincinnati. They're very strong.
Woods was great.
Yeah, Woods Curry and the gang. What he suggested is that Damar might have been in cardiac arrest, or at least in a very bad arrhythmia, even prior to him actually going to the ground. And so with him walking around, then falling down, you could probably say, oh, I don't think that's a cardiac arrest. But at NAEMSP, when Dr. Curry gave his talk, he said, we need to think that these highly trained athletes, maybe their brains can function longer with low flow.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. You think about like their VO2 max, and I mean, these are high performance people, right? So maybe there is something to that. I mean, who knows?
Well, and I can tell you, I've gotten into some amazing fights with dead people. In terms of like I've run codes and I've been doing CPR, on particularly young, fit patients. And you start doing CPR, and then their eyes open and they're ready to fight. And I'm sitting here, and don't get me wrong, my CPR skills are absolutely impeccable, but they're not that good. I'm not giving them the same amount of flow that their heart was. So I think it's perfectly feasible that a guy that's in shape like Damar Hamlin, who, by the way, has just been running up and down a field, so I imagine that his heart has been pumping blood for quite a bit right up to his noggin, and that they have a little left in the tank before they drop. So that's an interesting perspective there.
One thing I just want to make sure we're clear on, as this very disorganized, but actually, it's actually not been that disorganized. It's actually been really good to wrangle all of our guests. I want to make sure we're just at an hour and about 10 minutes or so. So if you need to hop off, please do. We had no actual ending time in mind. But I mean, we appreciate everyone jumping on, and please stay, but I don't want you to feel compelled if you've got to go to bed or you got to get up and get ready for
I thought
work.
we were staying on until EMS week was over.
I'd like to see you try it, buddy.
I actually just think this is Mike's very Southern hospitality way of telling me I can leave now. I feel
no, not at all. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to be, respectful of our guests and all the people that came. I know you West Coasters, it's like barely even dinner time there yet, so you're probably fine. But I just want to be respectful. If you have to hop, please do.
I'm about to hop, Mikey. But before we go, I just want everybody to cross everything they have, every digit they have, because Mikey's applied to be a marshal with me this year at the Las Vegas Grand Prix again. So cross everything.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. So I'm holding a space on turn 14 for you, mate. So
that sounds good. I told him I wanted to work with you, so
I put your name down too.
Get on that list?
Okay, good. What's that?
How do I get on that list?
I'll send. Wait, it's still open, Ben. I'll send you the link. It's so they're still looking for marshals for Las Vegas. So,
but they don't have any snakes in that event, right?
Oh, there's plenty of snakes there. Believe me.
In Vegas. Both literal and figurative.
That's so funny. But yeah. Send it off, Rob.
Yep.
Do you have like a
snake? I'm not going to that race this year because I'm going to Austin to see Mike and stay with Mike, and the wife and my son are going down, and we're going to spend 3 days at the track.
Yep. It's going to be awesome.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, thanks
And
for
don't
jumping
forget-
on, Rob.
Yeah, rewind back a few. You can catch the whole Formula One Grand Prix clinical edition of of that EMS 70 show there.
You know what? I need to go back to the Circuit of Americas. I haven't been there in now 10. Been a while, like 10 years probably since.
We
they-
should. We
'cause
should.
I was there for the first Formula One race.
Yep, we talked about
Love
that.
you, Rob.
Yeah.
Yep, but you should come down, make a thing
Yeah.
of it.
Gotta make it
Be
work.
awesome. All right, so what else do we got here? We've got tons of amazing people in the room here. We haven't got to hear a lot from Jarvis, really, buddy. What's is there anything new going on for you? Is that too soon? Maybe.
Yeah, way too soon, my friend.
Okay,
Way
I'm
too soon.
sorry.
Love you.
Well, I didn't mean for it to come out like that. I mean, I know that there's a lot of stuff going on, but what's going on with you, buddy? What's going on?
So I'm in lots of meetings. So the official word, I'm obviously the medical director for the Fort Worth EMS system. MedStar has been here, one of the initial public utility models, been in progress in the work. We've been here for 40 years. Well, MedStar is no more. City Council voted to dissolve it. We're still working on the details, obviously. It will go to EMS, will go to Fort Worth Fire Department. All of the, or at least the vast majority, hopefully all who want to anyway, of the existing MedStar paramedics will come over, be hired as city employees, single role civil service within the Fort Worth Fire Department. And the Office of the Medical Director will continue to support the system as a whole. And right now, agreements are still being worked out with our member cities. But it looks like Fort Worth Fire Department, the intent is the EMS system will continue to serve the entire regional area. So that's what has been going on with me.
Yeah, a lot.
Plenty.
But I'm curious, you did not have that background 20 minutes ago, and now all of a sudden you've got some strange, mythical looking herbs and spices. And so
I'm
tell
not
me what
sure
the
it
hell-
actually fits. Is this fitting here?
I mean, we can kind of see it. We see, there's a calculator.
You know, let me see if I can help. My buddy Ben here decided I needed a logo, and
This
let
is
me
this is
see.
special because Jarvis is one of our, what do we call it, tactical statisticians.
Yeah. Now, if only I can show you the actual. You don't want to see that. You want to
Go
see
ahead.
the
Actually,
file.
you're sharing your screen.
Yeah. Well, I'm clearly sharing the wrong screen. You are seeing. In case you're really wanting to, how do I stop sharing my that? I want you to see that file. Stop
It's always
sharing.
embarrassing it's often embarrassing when you share the wrong screen.
Well, hey,
Yeah, that
thank
could have been
God
super dangerous.
not having that problem.
But that logo looks like a potential tattoo coming on.
Yeah. Right here on his chest, like right here. Do it.
Come on. You can try this. You can do it.
There it is.
I feel
Like I have to
And
allow
still
it.
no. All
Yeah,
right,
you're sharing
shit.
your whole screen.
Despite
guy.
the fact that I did not push that button.
My
I'm
thumb and back is perfect. And I'm very confused.
this is an
I have a
operator
belief.
error problem here.
I have a belief when a physician is operating the computer.
Right?
I'll tell you what. Here, Jeff, just slide to the left so we can get a good look at it.
You know what? I'm going to just send this damn thing to somebody who is actually capable of doing it. My buddy Ben gave me a logo, and he called me a savage statistician. And at first, my overwhelming sense of imposter syndrome said, I'm not a statistician of any type. And he said, of course. You're like a savage. You're so bad at this, you can barely add up two numbers. And I'm
That's
like,
not
oh,
how I
can,
worded it.
that is me. I can do this now. So thank you, Ben.
So is that a class like savage statistician? Like that's like a different level of some sort of
Savage
It is.
statistician.
It's so there's intro to stats 101, And then about 3 levels below that is the Savage Statistician.
Oh, I thought it was like intro, like amateur, pro,
That's
like
what it seems to
badass,
me.
and then savage.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
Well,
what
see, I thought so too. I thought he had
that's-
actually
Jose,
screwed up and
that's
given
it.
me
This is-
Rimley's logo.
this
And
is
no,
top
then I
tier.
understood it. And I'm like, oh, now I can use it.
This
He
is-
was
no, no, no,
insulting
this
me
is
and I didn't
top
know it.
He is
Savages
Jarvis is
still
top
use
tier.
Pete.
If there's anything I learned about, statistics and this and that with research, especially from working at Pitt and all and Henry Wang, like I know I will always hire a statistician, but I know how to use the stats, read the papers. And one of my key mentors and best friends is Dr. Jarvis, who teaches me and others how to look at the research. He is savage at it. This is top tier.
right. It's like it's like the it's like
But he's
above
humble
badass.
to a fault. But
Yeah.
I was very proud of this Savage Statistician logo. And if you look close, other than we were dealing with the pandemic, if it happened in your state, it didn't happen in my state, but
No, it didn't
the
happen
physician
more in
there.
my state.
But notice he's got the calculator. He's got a Texas tattoo.
It's coming.
There's
I'm getting
Square.
it loaded up. Give me a sec. But keep
Okay.
talking.
There's a lot of hidden meaning behind it, and it's this
That
version
is awesome.
plus one with the night vision goggles. Yeah, so it was well deserved because, like as you said, Jose, he's a savage. He's just too humble about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, in
I have to
some
leave,
information hot
but,
off the presses
I
there.
was hoping
I think I got paused. None of y'all are moving anymore.
No, you're good.
Ah, there you go. Jose sent
I
me a
hear you.
paper. Looks like there's one hot off the presses.
He
And
just sent it
I'm
to
really
me
glad
also.
to say that people agree with us. There.
Yeah, in a nutshell, right?
Yeah, yeah. We
I'm
agree.
sorry, I missed the topic.
So we might have written a paper about head up CPR, an editorial, and there was a letter to the editor from the authors of many of those papers, and I just wanted to point out that they agree with our editorial. So I like it. They were very nice and wrote a letter to the editor saying they agreed with us.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Savage.
There you go.
Wow. That is nice.
And just for the record, the Savage Statistician wrote the editorial.
Yeah.
I wish I could make it bigger.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Oh, you got to make it the 2 out of that.
There you go.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
I'd recognize that face anywhere.
That right there, that face, it is that mask, that is state-of-the-art COVID treatment in the states of Florida and Texas.
But
look, there's
to
even
deal
the-
with the
the Texas-
nausea, he had isopropyl alcohol pads at the tip for the scent.
So explain to me why the symbols outside the diagram?
That's just part of the stats or what?
No, go up. So
Oh, over here.
yeah. So Infinity and Beyond, is that the thing?
Yeah, is this the Lone Star thing or something? What's going on, Ben? Walk us through it.
You have night vision goggles?
He's tactical. He's savage. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
all another takeoff of something else. And I've been asking for the stickers forever. But yeah, no, just everything's it was based on another logo, and I just wanted statistics stuff in there.
There's a bit of a joke with a group of tactical EMS docs. I'm about the least tactical EMS doc you can find. And I do almost zero hut stuff. So of course he had to include the hut stuff.
So I gotta tell you,
I may be less
Wait.
tactical than
Do you
you.
notice the patch on the shoulder? Also, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh
It
yeah.
is the Texas Medical Director's patch, the dad Hawaiian shirt, tattoos, the Texas.
I thought those were
tattoos.
marijuana leaves.
That's what they look like.
But not in Texas.
All right,
Heaven forbid.
all right, so we need T-shirts for next conference.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. What is this instrument that's being held right here?
That I don't remember. What did I
Is
say?
is that a King Vision, Jeff? But missing the camera?
No, because you can't get them anymore.
It's a King Vision handle. Oh my god. Oh
yes,
shit.
it's the last laryngoscope on the market that does not record.
Oh, it's a McGrath. Is that what
And he's clutching it.
Second to last. Yeah.
It's an original bougie.
For a veterinarian?
Yeah, for horses.
Yeah. All right, I'll make you a
tell
deal.
you guys
That
I intubated a tiger.
really?
What?
No, true story. True story. Hold on. I'm gonna so you can share this picture. Mike, I'm gonna text you this picture. I intubated a tiger. It was an 18O tube.
King, that he is.
And
Is that like a pipe?
Was it like a 6-Mac or something that you?
Colby says it's a
And
talking stick.
You're
So when he's got
gonna
the
notice
stick-
a couple of things with this. This is an 18O tube. Even at the zoo, they use capnography. So why I can't get the ERs to use capno always, I don't know. And I'm doing a specific exam on this.
I just got it. You can keep talking, but it's going to take me a minute to get it up.
No, I want to pull it up. So it's anyone knowing me and my humor, you'll get what I'm looking at pretty quickly. It's all the challenge rising up. But yeah, speaking of intubating, but it was a Miller 8 laryngoscope.
Oh my god.
And an
Interesting.
18O
So you're a
tube.
straight blade guy, huh?
Is that just a shovel?
For this kitty, I did. And for full-size elephants, they use a Louisville Slugger as the laryngoscope. True story. True
Is it
story.
corked?
So that's how the tiger.
story. I did not get to intubate an elephant yet. But they were prepping me when I was doing some behind-the-scenes stuff at Animal Kingdom. And I recently took over. I'm working with Safety for Zoo Tampa starting recently, so fun stuff. This was at the Naples Zoo.
What about a giraffe?
A giraffe.
What about a giraffe?
Did you know they don't vomit?
What?
I had this random thought. I was like, can you imagine if a giraffe had to throw up? It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna be sick, right? He's like, hold on, and it would take forever before I actually throw up. So I was like, I wonder if they throw up. So I called a veterinarian, and I asked, I'm like, legit, do giraffes vomit? And they do not. Horses, like if they get colic and stuff, they can die because they cannot vomit all the way up.
That makes sense.
And intubation of a giraffe?
It's actually like a wide hose.
Oh wow, look at that.
So was it an awake intubation?
This kitty cat was in the K-hole.
And that's a good thing?
Yeah, definitely in the K-hole, and then paralyzed, and then intubated. And as you
Look
can
at that
see,
O2 sat though. 100%, boy.
100% good capno waveform, very rough tongue. And what exam am I doing? Ron, what am I looking at?
It's like you're looking at his eye.
It's the eye of the tiger. Come on, folks.
Oh,
jeez.
Well, you are the Tiger King, as far as I'm concerned.
If I get a chance, I will show you what an elephant ET tube looks like. I do have a picture of it, but yeah.
So Ben, do you put the tiger on its back or side to intubate?
It was mostly on its back, slightly tilted because it was so heavy and it was like leaning over.
Do you have people holding it up by the legs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, like by the legs, like with the shoulders underneath, because there's so much weight to it. And Yeah, it was it was amazing. It's such a beautiful animal. Yeah, so now I've done humans, I've done dogs, cats, a lemur, a tiger, and a honey badger.
We got to sponsor your trip to SeaWorld. Someone's going to hand you a surfboard and say Shamu needs a tube.
Did the honey badger care?
Honey badger didn't give us. He did not give a shit.
Care.
He did not give a shit because he knew that it was an EMS physician. See, William, we're talking about EMS again.
Well, I mean, Jay-Z said something about delegated practice states, so Bill had to get that in there. So well done, both of y'all. Everybody drink.
So how many milligrams per kilogram do you use?
All.
They got him down with it was 2.5 megs per kg was about the equivalent for the initial.
How many kigs? How many kigs?
That's a lot of kigs.
That's a lot of kigs. I don't remember. This was obviously very high concentration, and this was IM to start.
Oh. Shit!
Yeah. Boom.
I don't understand why you didn't just hold them down to start the IV.
Ketamine.
But you had to wait a while because big pause.
Oh yeah. You had to pause. Big pause.
Is that like 55-gallon drums of ketamine?
Very large jar. Actually, one of the coolest courses I've been to, other than the NAEMSP medical director's course, is the chemical sedation for wildlife course here in Florida.
With that.
And this is exactly all I could think of.
Got her in Mexico. Cool. Yeah, it is cool. They say it can puncture the skin of a rhino from 100.
Every time.
This is a real video of me basically sedating this
That's
cat.
awesome. What?
That's what I
You just
pictured.
took one in the.
Anyway. So good.
Yep.
Well, guys, I'm gonna see myself out.
Thanks, buddy.
It was really nice to meet all you guys, and just as kind of for everyone still listening, it's kind of a little EMS week hooray and hurrah or whatever you want to call it. When we kind of think of things in the long run, COVID was a rough patch, right? We kind of saw some staffing dip and whatnot, but I think COVID did do something good, and that did kind of show our value to the world as our numbers started to dwindle. And the positives that I'm seeing now, we're kind of four years post that really bad spot, is in a lot of places, not everywhere, but in a lot of places, we're seeing wages go up. We're seeing what Dacia did with legislation in terms of getting, more cancer conditions covered for as work related for firefighters. And one of the things we talked about at the beginning of this podcast was that some people still have this idea that this is a throwaway, disposable career to move on to something else. And I think one of the positives from COVID that's happening, that we're starting to see happen, is that we're turning this into a sustainable career now. We're seeing wages come up. Where I work, our wages have come up, and we're really starting to show our value to the world. And I think that's truly thanks to a lot of the people that have been in this show today and the people I'm talking to now. So very heartfelt thank you to Mike and Ritu and all the guests you guys have had on today. We're turning this career, this field, into a respected and well-known career. And I have a lot of gratitude for everyone I got to talk to today and to be on this show. So with that, happy EMS week. I do want my sticker for guessing November, Mike. And
well, you got to talk to Ritu.
Yeah, just immediately under the bus. See that, Ritu?
Well, he's got the goods.
They're in my. I have them.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. How
Chris.
about we get a beer and you can give me a sticker?
Sure.
Perfect.
That's
all
awesome.
right.
So
I'm
check
down
out
with that.
EMS
I'll see you guys.
2020. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on.
See you.
All right, buddy. All right. Well, we are at that 1.5 hours thing. We can keep going. We can end it. I mean, I don't really give a crap, to be honest with you. It's been awesome hanging out with everybody, and I could do it all night. So again, just being respectful. If you want to bounce, get the heck out of here. If you want to hang out for a little bit, there's always something to talk about. So,
well, it was wonderful seeing y'all. I'm going to have to punch out.
Thanks.
Guys, take care. Happy EMS week.
Thanks, buddy. See you
Y'all
guys
have a wonderful
later.
night.
Okay,
See you,
thank
Jeff.
you. If you're gonna bounce,
Stay
get on out of
savage.
here. Yeah. See you guys.
Happy EMS week. See you guys.
Yep. Same to you guys. Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks.
Bye bye. It's past my
Bye.
bedtime.
Thank you.
Love you, Ron.
Oh man.
See you, Jose.
Love you, son.
Oh, I love it. You know, there's a story behind that.
Well,
Someone
there's
from
always a
Pittsburgh
story.
EMS thought he was my dad, and so I always, and like it was weird timing, like, and then I'm laughing about it as I'm walking around the hall, and there is Ron and Sheila, and I told him, so I always, send Father's Day cards and stuff to him. Other than he's been a longtime mentor and one of the reasons why I became an EMS physician. So yeah, that's why that's where the son came from.
That's
awesome.
so funny.
Awesome.
That's so good.
Love it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's dinner time here.
Perfect.
So
Well, there you go. My parents just got into town.
Nice.
So they're hanging with the dogs, their grand dogs.
We'll go visit.
So I'm gonna head to it also, but I really appreciate it. Sorry I got on a little late.
Good.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch the beginning what I missed, but I hope you guys have a great EMS week. This has been, EMS. It's my love. It's my addiction, and it's great to see so many, great strong faces and do so much. You guys and your podcast and Jeff's and everything. Like, I love that I have other people because some of my firefighter medics are like, what are you talking about? This is always how we've done it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, where are you coming from? And I'm like, yeah, I know I'm nuts, but I'm not the only one. And then I send them like links to your podcast and to Jeff's and this and that. And like, oh, okay. So it helps me remind them that they are, such and such fire rescue, not fire department, because all of my departments are ALS non-transport, fire-based. So
yeah.
Well,
Cool. Well, thanks for jumping on. We'll have you on again. I want to talk more about lions and tigers and sharks and new TV shows and all that stuff. Ben Grills. I think that sounds really good.
I like it.
Sounds
like
good.
it.
I love you guys and
Love you
everybody
too.
out there. Still love you.
They're out there. See you, dude.
See you later.
Well, buddy.
Whew. Wow, that was exhausting.
What a whirlwind. I mean, I could not have wished for a better episode for EMS week or just in general anytime. What an all-star, truly all-star cast. That
Night of
time
1,000 stars, EMS style.
So good.
Yeah.
I know it's
Or
dinner
like
time.
11.
I know it's dinner time. Anything last on your mind that I can get us out of here?
I just I want to thank everybody for all their hard work and recognize that what you do is important as an EMS professional. And I think Chris is right. I think we're getting into a place where recognition is occurring more so, and I feel like EMS is potentially in a place where we could start to see some real improvement and change.
Yeah.
And that's really exciting.
It is really exciting. One thing that I wish we could have talked about a little bit more, and we'll get Dacia back on here. But we just had Dr. Ed Roth, who we invited. Unfortunately, he's on a plane. Matt Svadsky, they just testified in front of the Ways and Means Committee, right? That is a big ass deal. Like that is like, I'm not sure people realize what a big deal that is. That's a big deal.
Awesome.
And so we would love to have Ed on here and talk a little bit about that, but we will continue to get the right people on the show. If there's someone you want to hear from, let us know. We can get them on here, connect us. I would love that. Send us a message on the EMS show on Twitter, or just reach out to Ratu or I, whatever it is. And I can't just echo everything that pretty much everybody said tonight. Keep up the good work, keep your head up. You truly make a difference. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but I promise you, you do. So
every time I run our data, I know you do. So
yep, exactly. So on behalf of Dr. Ratu Sani, Mike Verkest, you've been watching the EMS show and maybe listening as well. You guys have a great night. Happy EMS week, and we will talk to you guys all later. We'll see you.
Hey, thanks for listening to the EMS Show. Let's continue this conversation. What do you say? Check out the official Facebook page and Twitter feed. The EMS Show is a Fire Dog production.